Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Huddle, a black and gold podcast with your host, Gage Ryan. How you doing, Gage?
Oh, sensational. How are you, my friend?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I'm doing pretty good after that win there in Ireland, right?
First international win in Steeler history.
Oh my gosh. And we also had one of the longest plays in international history too in that game too, 80-yard bomb to DK Metcalf. So, okay, we'll take that. But thank you all for tuning in and checking us out for the Huddle, a black and gold podcast where we talk about the Steelers somewhat, sometimes, maybe, kind of. Yins understand what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's digress a little bit and talk about the game that happened in Ireland
hmm
against the Minnesota Vikings, where the
hmm
Pittsburgh Steelers squeaked out another one.
Remember when that
Yeah.
game was on the verge of a blowout and then we just had to make it difficult because we always do?
It's like there's a line in the contract that says you are not allowed to win by more than 3 points.
hmm
There has to be because there's the how can you have games that you should be completely, utterly dominating, which you did for the most part. I mean, there's always going to be room for improvement, but we did see some good things as well. So, Gage, having watched the game and then having seen the wonderfulness of the five-star matchups, um, we got 17 minutes of playtime for five-star this past week. You know what I mean? So, but what did you think about the win here? Uh, Pittsburgh playing the Vikings in Ireland. What do you think about this win?
I mean, so we finally had a semblance. I think that our running back had like a career day, if I'm not mistaken, and it wasn't Jalen Warren. So, I mean, we had that was a big like overall thing. Kenneth Gainwell, right? I always mix his name up with someone else, but he's done oddly well this year. Every time he's gotten touches, he's usually made pretty decent production out of it. And then this past game felt like a bit of a culmination of that. So he played well. I thought DK played decently. I mean, obviously that slant was money, no doubt
Right.
about that. Thought Aaron played well. I thought the O line was, I'm going to say, slightly better, and I'm putting so much emphasis on the word slightly. Uh, I thought the defense played better. I think that like getting our nose tackle back made a huge difference in our defense. Like there's the vibes are good. The vibes are good. There's not a whole lot to directly complain about outside of the gosh darn game management, which has just been a problem for so long at this point that it feels tired to even talk about.
Uh, you know, I I was gonna try really hard to be
Did
good.
I blow your cover?
You did, man. You totally just blew that out of the water because
Ah,
I think Pittsburgh played a pretty decent game. I was a little bit suspect of the defense allowing the team to just come back in it. I mean, you allowed,
every week.
three quick scores like that. And
hmm
now, when you wrap that up with the poor game management and poor clock management that Tomlin had, that basically allowed the other team to kind of march down the field in a very quickly amount of time, put up two touchdowns. Uh, how do you let that happen at the end of games?
all
How
the
do
time.
you not how do you not trot Boswell out there on that 4th and 1 and kick the field goal?
What
You
would that have
were
been? 57
already
yards?
no, it wasn't even that long. It wasn't even that long. It wouldn't have mattered even if it was 57. You you
He'd have
you
made it.
you you got Boswell, the golden legged, brass balled kicker. Come on, right? I mean, I would have at least tried that instead of what they did, which was a penalty.
An
And,
intentional penalty to punt it away.
and okay, Mike.
No, but when I say that Mike Tomlin is the worst game manager in the league, I constantly get called a pessimist and a toxic Steeler fan. It's just the truth. He's a great motivator and whatnot. He can put together defenses and he can have good performances and whatnot, but he will screw us on clock management. It just is what it is. It's Andy Reid and Philly, if anybody remembers those days.
Or what's his name up there in Buffalo?
Sean
But
McDermott, yeah.
McDermott's got the same issue. He doesn't know
Hmm.
how to, he's got the same issue. And I'm
He
I'm
has a
here to
Josh
tell you,
Allen, though.
uh, that's true, but and they do have a running back up there now too, and their defense is starting to get healthy. But
There you go.
man, there's still a lot of question marks here with this Pittsburgh Steelers team. There's still no
Oh, yeah.
identity yet. There's still no identity yet with this team. We are a quarter of the way in, and they're already on a bye week, which I'm a little bit upset about, but it is what it is. Either Pittsburgh either gets them early or late. They never get them like right in the middle. Yeah,
No.
that's where you're supposed to get a bye week, right in the middle. Anyway, hopefully it'll allow some of the guys that have been banged up and nicked up, all of the Joey Porters, all of the Alex Highsmiths, all of the pick anybody, the Jalen Warrens. Maybe that'll give them the time so that when they do suit up against the Cleveland Browns, which is their next game, that they'll be, a little bit healthier. They'll be able to put a more rounded team out there. I mean, what do you think?
Normally, I'm kind of annoyed with the quick bye weeks that they give us at week 4, week 5 of every year. Seemingly, it seems like they like making us run the gauntlet towards the back half of the year. But I actually don't mind it this year, just for the fact that like everything kind of, I don't want to say fell apart, but like fell apart so fast on the injury
Yeah.
front that I'm like, you know what? Well, I'll take it this year. It may not have been their
Yeah.
goal, but
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I'll take it because it'll give time for Alex Highsmith to get better. It'll get time for, look, Elliott's coming back. He played, but any time that you get these guys rest, especially if they're coming back from an injury or things of that nature, and give Alex Highsmith that time to heal up and get back to it and things of that, I mean, Cleveland Brown is one of those teams that whether you're going to their house or they're coming to Pittsburgh, this has to be one of those games that you need to win. Now,
Hmm.
in the early part of the season, Pittsburgh. Look, I know they're 3-1. I know they're leading the division right now. I know it seems that Baltimore has dropped off a cliff somewhere, but don't count on that.
We're only a
Don't
quarter of the
count.
way through.
Okay, there is still a lot of football left. And when we get to like game 12 or 13 and we're looking at this kind of situation, then talk to me. But until we get to
Hmm.
that situation, we got a lot of football left. So this is a game that Pittsburgh needs to win against the Cleveland Browns.
I'll give you an early prediction, even though you didn't technically ask for it, is that I think this game's going to go one of two ways. It's because here's the thing: it's the rookie quarterback making, was it their first start or second start? I don't know. So they
It
are
will
either,
be his second start, depending on how injuries go and everything like that, because they benched Flacco.
yeah, okay, I did hear about that. I know that they still were not going to give Shador a shot, which I find a little funny, but because everybody was mocking him to us at first round of pick
Yeah.
22 last year. Do you remember that? Like, yeah,
Yes.
oh
Yes.
man, how
Yes.
things change.
Yes.
But
And
so this game's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a defensive domination where you torment a rookie quarterback, or it's going to be one of those games, if you will, where the defense just kind of can't put anything together and the rookie quarterback looks like the reincarnation of Joe Montana. I really do think it's going to be kind of an all or nothing performance just because of the lack of experience with Gabriel and all that. I really do think it's going to be one or the other.
I remember early in Mike Tomlin's career, he had an amazing record against rookie quarterbacks
Mm-hmm.
in the early part of his career. He was
Dick
really
LeBeau.
good. Okay. So you're getting where
I'm
I'm
kidding.
going,
I'm
right?
kidding. I'm
No, no,
kidding.
no. But ever since the great defensive guru has left, He doesn't have quite as a good record against rookie quarterbacks anymore, and it's
Uh,
still Stefanski's offense. And
and Stefanski's a very good coach. Like he kind of gets under the radar just because the situation around him is so garbage. If he had a halfway decent GM, he'd be a playoff contending coach every year. He already kind of is, like with Cleveland.
I mean, they do seem to kind of try to hang around as much as they can. They just, yeah, that
Hmm.
and the whole Sanders draft thing was just it just is typical Cleveland Browns.
Hmm.
I don't
100%.
I don't know how to say it. It's just typical Cleveland Browns. Like, how anyway, and then the unfortunate of the Burrows injury for Cincinnati.
Oh
I
yeah.
we don't know the timetable of his return, so Cincinnati's chances this year are not quite as stellar as they once were.
Even if
So
Burrow comes off healthy towards the end of the year, what exactly is the point? You might as well kind of shut him down for the year and give him more time to heal. I mean, Lord knows he needs it.
exactly, because that guy has taken a lot of shots and he's banged up and everything else like that. And
Do you subscribe to this like theory that a lot of people are going with online that he's essentially the 2020s Andrew Luck? Fun
hmm,
fact, Joe Burrow has actually been hit more times in less games than Andrew Luck has.
and he's had just as many injuries
And
and
he's had
time
three
away.
entire seasons derailed so
Right,
far. Like Luck's injuries didn't even start till like 3 or 4 years in.
right. Mm, I don't know because I think I don't know because I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than
I would
Andrew Luck.
probably agree. I'd
You,
probably
you know
agree.
what I mean? So it's unfortunate that he's getting the injuries, but I still think he's a better quarterback than Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Burrow has like real top of the line potential. I hate to
Uh,
say that about a rival team's QB, but he's the only Bengal I like.
I got to be honest with you, man. I really wouldn't have minded if Pittsburgh would have selected him.
Sure, especially hindsight, right?
Well, but yeah. But I mean, at that time, I mean, that was the same year that Jalen Hurts came out, right?
Yeah, and Jalen didn't go until the second round.
Right. Okay. So, anyway.
We did pick Terrell Edmonds over Lamar Jackson, so we'll always have that to look back on and think about. Didn't mean to rub salt in the wound on your partner on this lovely Saturday morning.
I mean, I was feeling really good about an awesome hockey Penn State win last night, and you just had to go and smear some dirt in it. Yeah, it's all right.
Well, here let's go back to a positive and say that I think our defense looks easily the best that it has all year, and probably looks better than it has in the last. If you go back to the end of last season, probably in the last like 8 or 9 games.
What
What do you think?
an awesome addition our first round draft pick has had on our
I'm baffled.
defensive line. The fact that he utterly stands out on tape every single play. Okay. Now, I've watched him, and for a rookie, this guy has, I can understand why he was selected number one in the first round. I can understand because he's worthy of it. But I like seeing him take on double teams because here's what this is going to do. And especially, I like that you've seen Wilson step up, you've seen Holcomb step up in the absence of Highsmith. You know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
Patrick Queen has been playing really well. We're really missing Joey Porter. We were really missing Elliott. You know what I mean? It's too much to put on Slay and Ramsey. It's too much to put on those two guys to just try to keep the defensive
Carry the
backs
whole
and
defense.
you can't. You can't. You need some help, and uh
And they
ha-
and they've looked decent. Like they looked at. It's not like Jalen Ramsey hasn't played pretty well. It's not like Slay hasn't been. better than
Mm,
expected, because maybe that's
agreed.
because I was expecting, kind of falling off play, and no, he's been decent.
He's been pretty
So
decent, but here's my thing though,
considering we're
and
good.
no, I'm sorry, but here's my thing though about this whole thing with defense is this. You got guys that are really, 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 really good at man on man,
Hmm.
and you have them playing zone.
All the time.
Uh, can I see? To me, that's a dome scratcher. I mean, Joey Porter. I watched Joey Porter play all the years he played in Penn State, and all that guy did was one on one. I mean, that's what he made
100%.
his bread and butter on. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Darius Slay is another one that was man on man. Jalen Ramsey is a man on an island. That means man on man.
If I
Okay.
could, counter that real quick, though, that is true that like whenever we're not blitzing, we tend to be in zone. But at the same time, if memory serves me, we still have one of the highest blitz rates in the entire league. So we're still giving these guys plenty. I know Peasy isn't playing currently, but like we're giving these guys plenty of man-to-man opportunities. And I think when Peasy comes back, it's only destined to get better, right?
You're already calling him Peasy?
Peasy Junior, I usually say.
Really?
Yeah, why
All
not?
right. Okay.
Peasy Junior.
But man, I just can't see him up there going, hoorah, hoorah. I just can't see him do that. You know what I mean, right? I just
They asked him when he got drafted. They said, "Hey, who's the better trash talker between you and your dad?" And he said, "Oh, me, easily. I want to see him talking. I need him mic'd up."
I watched, like I said, I watched him play at Penn State, man. You could definitely tell he was jawing because his head's doing this, you know what I mean? You could tell he was but he has all the skills. He's great at man to man. He's great at that that battle. You know what I mean? That battle that receivers and cornerbacks have, the hand battles, the body battles, the positions. You know what I mean? He's built for that. So get him doing it. I don't understand. Gunk 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 gunk. Hello, hello. Anyway,
It
all
is
right.
nice to, it is refreshing to see them blitzing because for the last couple of years, the TA defense, it's just been a whole bunch of sit back and cover too and let them complete everything underneath or let them complete everything in the, all the
That's
way in the back,
Tomlin
so to
though.
speak.
That's Tomlin. That's part of Tomlin's influence on the defense, man. His Tampa
Hmm.
2 and his zone and everything is what he made his bread and butter on in Tampa. And
He wanted to revert back to that for sure.
I'm here to tell you, man, that is not the way to go with the team that you have right now. Okay?
Uh,
You even when you had Minka back there, you ruined Minka because he was another guy that was great man to man.
say it louder for the people in the back.
You ruined Minka Fitzpatrick because he was a great man-to-man coverage guy, and you made him just be, playing
Jamal
in
Adams.
zone. And yeah, right. Like, come on. And no wonder look when he first came to Pittsburgh, he was playing a lot of man on man. He was playing almost the uh, Troy Polamalu position, right? And
Hmm.
he was a ball hawk, and he made
The
immediate
center
impact
fielder.
and he made immediate impact because he's a ball hawk, right? And slowly you deteriorate that away from him, and you could continually took him out of that situation and took him out of that role and took him out of that role and took him out of that role and put him in something else, and
I
that's what
mean,
happened.
Minka started off in Miami and got pissed pretty quickly because I don't remember if he was on the tanking team or if it was the team after that. But regardless, it was a really bad team at the time, and they were playing him in a lot of cover two, making him play 20 yards off the ball and whatnot. He's like, I got to get out of here. And then at the end of his tenure in Pittsburgh, they make him play cover two and 20 yards off the ball, and he says, I got to get out of here. It's funny how history, it usually doesn't repeat itself and often rhymes. Well, this time it just repeated itself.
Dead for those folks in the cheap seats. Okay, I mean, look, that's just the way it is. You can call it like you see it.
And
You
like
know
the
what I
NFL
mean?
has been transitioning more to cover two, and I understand that's not make a specialty, but it's just one of those things that you feel like it, with a player as good as him, you kind of mold yourself almost to what they're good at. Um, but we just weren't willing to do that. We valued this TA scheme, this Mike Tomlin Tampa 2 thing. At least we're blitzing more. I always try to like keep it with the positive because like the last couple of games with our
Well,
turnovers and our sack numbers, we've been pretty good all
getting
things
better,
considered.
getting better.
Definitely
Now
getting better.
we really played against the depleted Minnesota line, so that's why the totals were exacerbated a little bit. But when you
Like
look
third
at
stringers.
something like that, right? Their starting guard was out, their starting center was out, you know what I mean? And then they lost the guy while the game was happening. So,
Was it O'Neal or was it the other guy?
I think it was the other guy, I can't remember. But what I'm getting at here is this: when you look at the game against Seattle, you look at the game against even the Jets, and you look at the game against New England, right? There was still a lot of opposition positive yards, opposition doing really good things,
A
and
lot of work to do.
a lot. It will be a lot of work to do. Okay, so I still don't see the zone working very well with the personnel that you have on the defense right now. I think you need to really seriously look at that in order for Pittsburgh to be successful. I also would like to see more of the Giannu Smiths, more of the Pat Fryer moves involved in the game. I'm tired of pitching it out to these little tiny guys that get swallowed up all the time. Throw the football.
Do you think that the rumors are true that Pat Fryermuth is in Aaron Rodgers' doghouse and that's why he's not getting enough targets? I don't know if I subscribe to it, just for the record. I think that Johnny Smith is just kind of you know, Arthur
He's
Smith's football soulmate, and that's why he's playing so
because
much.
he's played with him in Atlanta. He's here with him in Pittsburgh. He's followed him all the way through his career. So yeah, but I don't understand. You got a Pat Fryermuth. He is as talented as tight ends come. He always gets yards after the catch. He's a huge body. You're not using him the way you should be using him.
Do you think that's because Johnny's a better blocker? Do you think that factors into it? Because it's true that Muth's not much of a blocker. Tomlin's,
Muth is more of a receiver
yeah, yeah,
all
that's
day
true.
long. He even has the body to be more the receiver.
Mhm.
Giannu is a thicker guy. No, but he's a
No,
thicker
it's true.
guy. It's true, and he is a better blocker. Okay, but I
Bigger screen
like
target too.
but I like Fryermuth catching the ball.
Mhm.
Okay, I like him catching the ball. I like him better than some of the other guys that are out there trying to catch the ball. Okay, it's just me.
He he's a good player at finding what the defense is, taking two steps to one side or the other, and being wide open by 10 yards. And I value that skill set. I think this sounds so stupid. The get open skill set. Like if you can, I guess, casually get open like he can, I think that that's an incredibly valuable tool to have. And it just like he got out snapped by Darnell Washington, if I'm not mistaken, a week or two ago. I mean, he's been out snapped by people he has no business being out snapped against. So I hate to see that. I think that I wonder if the blocking plays into it because of Arthur's obsession with two tight end sets and whatnot.
That's what I don't understand. And okay, I get it, but you need to have one of them that can still run out there and catch the ball. I'm not saying that the tight ends that we have can't catch the ball, but
Yeah,
then if you're
Darnell's
going
okay.
yeah, I mean, he's a lumbering kind of guy. He's not gonna,
And
he's
what if
not
I
gonna
overthrow
break
him?
it
You
open for
won't.
80 yards downfield. You know what I mean, right? You're not gonna see Darnell doing that. I don't even think you're gonna see Smith doing that. But I absolutely could see Fryermuth doing that.
He'll go on an angry run like he did against the Falcons a couple of years ago, where he just breaks 7 tackles or whatever it is. He'll
Push
definitely.
that dude out the way. I was like, oh, all right.
He's like
That's
an
what we
angry ox with the ball.
That's
It's
what
great,
we
great.
need. That's what we need with Fryermuth. And when you get him involved, that's the guy that plays for you. But
Mhm.
you got to get him involved, you know, and it's just not there. And I'm Maybe I'm missing something here. I don't know, but and I'm not saying that I have a problem with Smith or Washington. I don't have a problem with either of those guys. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, people. Wait, Smith. Are we talking about Arthur Smith
No, uh,
or Johnny
Johnny.
Smith?
Yeah,
Yeah, no. But I was going to transition to Arthur Smith. Is that like I think that he's done a pretty decent, an adequate job. I don't think he's been great, but I don't think he's been bad either. And I think that he's paired pretty well with Rodgers just because we're giving him play action. We're giving him looks. We're giving him all these things that like Rodgers needs at this stage of his career. And I think that what do we think about Rodgers? Do you think you want him back for another year?
I didn't want him here for this year.
I didn't either. I didn't either, but he's been halfway decent.
um, well, we were talking about this before the show. He's got, you know, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's got an average 102 passer rating, so I mean it's not horrible.
102 is
Um,
pretty good. I mean, Ben
right?
Roethlisberger's career QBR was 94 and some change.
Like I said, he's had some really good games, like the game against the Jets, where his ranking was like 136, and then he had the stinker against Seattle, where his rating was 58.
Mm.
So, yeah. But and I like what 5 Star says. We do have a guy back there that is doing that professional quarterback type crap. Um, I, I, I don't know, man. I just think we're on borrowed time with him,
Oh
and
yeah.
it just feels like at any moment, that it's gonna come down, and if it does, then we're gonna have the carousel at quarterback again, and so far so good. That's what I'll say about Rodgers. So far so good. He's not hurting us, right? And he's helping us to win. He's not giving the ball away per se. You know what I mean? And with eight touchdowns and three picks, he's not giving the ball away. You know what I mean? He's playing within himself, right? We're not asking him to do a bunch of rollouts and RPOs and pitches and all that other kind of stuff because he can't.
This
But
is this is Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak his last year or two. Now I think
yeah,
Aaron's much better physically right now than Peyton was at that point, but it's the same
I'll
kind of
agree
thing.
with
Pair him
that.
with someone safe.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. And I just want to see him do those more of the DK Metcalf plays. I want to see more of the Pat Fryermuth and the tight ends more involved. I want to see the ball going to bigger bodied guys. Not that I have a problem with Jalen Warren, but he was hurt. So I mean, when he's out there, he is a dynamic runner and he's got incredible vision, and I really like the way he runs. Um, so once he's out there, but they don't feature him. They are constantly, once he gets in a rhythm, they're pulling him out and bringing in the next guy, and it's like, no, no, no. If you're gonna feature a running back, then feature one. Uh,
Yeah.
Give him the ball 25, 22, 25 times. That's called a feature back.
I think that's a significant part of why our run game continues to struggle year after year is that nobody can get into a rhythm without getting pulled for the next drive or two.
Or even mid drive. You're mid drive and, oh, no, we got to change it up. Got to bring in the next guy for 2 plays. Why?
I thought that they did Benny Snell a great disservice. I know we're going back a couple years here, but I always felt they did him a disservice because you saw like
He was so much
I think
better
a couple
running.
games he had a couple games where it was like 20 to 25 touches and over 100 yards. Like yeah, he was a guy if you kept him in a rhythm, he was getting you production. I think that we see something similar. I think Jalen's better, but I think that they fall into the archetype of give them more touches and they'll get you more yards.
Look, it has been historically shown in the statistics, Pittsburgh statistics anyway. And yes, I'm that sick. I looked this up. Over the years, the whole most of the modern history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have been otherwise known as a fourth quarter team and or a team that was capable of that last minute drive to win the game, right? So
Mm.
okay, that's good. You know what I mean? But lately, they're not that team. They're not. Nobody's afraid of Pittsburgh anymore. Nobody has any fear
No.
of any of the guys that are on the team. There's nobody on our team that you look down the roster and go, "Oh man, that guy can take the roof off the top. This quarterback is going to be a difference maker. This running back is going to be a difference maker." Do you know what I mean? And the inconsistencies of Mike Tomlin's coaching, I think, has really done a disservice to this team. There have been really good running backs on this team that they've had, and they've just, you don't even hear from them anymore. You know what I mean? And I I don't like the fact that there's not that. Hey, what I looked up is this: when Pittsburgh runs the ball 25 times, they win 78% of their games. When they throw the ball less than 30 times, they win 82% of their games. Now, I don't know about you, but if you give a running back the ball 25 times and that gives your team a 78% chance to win, here you go.
Take the
Here you
ball.
go. Here you go. If
So why
you,
does it seem like Jalen Warren gets more touches through checkdowns than he does runs?
because he's really good at that too.
Well, that's true.
I
But
mean,
that's the thing is that it seems like the opportunities come at wrong times. They come with
right.
wrong players. Nobody gets in a rhythm here.
It's like watching a disjointed, like like have you ever tried to watch like a puppet show with a group of people that have no idea what they're doing, and you know, and the puppets just kind of doing all this kind of funky stuff, right? Like in a marionette or whatever, you know what I mean, right?
You ever played
And
Quap? You ever played the old
no.
computer game Quap? It's QUOP, I think it is. And it's four different keys that you use to control four different parts of a runner's body. And the thing is that it's just such a ragdoll
Yeah,
game because no one could ever possibly do that
you know, yeah,
correctly.
right.
Yeah.
Coordinate
Yeah,
everything together, right?
that's the
That's
Steelers.
what's going on.
We're the football team version of Quap.
Oh my gosh, we got to quote that one. Anyway, I can't believe we just said that. Oh well, it is what it is, right? So Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cleveland Browns is the next game. Yeah, it's at 1 o'clock. Gage, got a prediction on that one? I mean, I know we're stupid early. It's not even until
Yeah.
next week. But hey, you know, we got to talk about Steelers somehow, some way. I mean, we thought the game in Ireland was pretty decent, although I can't believe we had, fourth quarter heart attack again. But
Oh, we also punted out of the back of the end zone intentionally. Like just some horrendous, like preschool level clock management, I gotta say.
ooh, I got to write that down.
Um, as far
Preschool
as
level clock management. Whoa.
well, so as far as the Brownies game, because that's what you initially asked was
Yep.
about the Brownies
Initially asked.
game.
Yep.
How
Yep.
we feeling about it? We got a rookie quarterback. We got a decent enough defense coming off of a bye week. I feel like this is a win. However, as easy of a win is an entirely different question, an entirely different
Oh, I
story.
didn't
I'm
ask
gonna,
that. No, I didn't ask
yeah,
that part. Yeah.
uh, uh, let's go 24-17. I'll give us a touchdown lead
All right. I think this could potentially be that game.
where we put it all together.
You're right. Yeah, okay, toes and everything. I'm gonna say 33-12.
Goodness.
I
How do we get
just
12? Do you give up a safety or something?
no, I just think they're gonna kick a couple field goals.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
gonna
I
be
get
the
you. I get you.
extent. That's gonna be the extent of their offense is field goals.
Well, you don't
But
normally see like four field goals and nothing else. That is a
that's why
it's
I
going to be
was
a
like,
good showing for our defense.
like I said. If we can get Alex Highsmith back, if we can get Joey Porter Jr. back, I'm sorry, Peasy Jr. back. Man, I'll tell you what, I got to watch some really cool stuff about Joey Porter over the years, and I don't think I ever seen quite somebody John Randall. I think is about the same level of trash talking that I see Joey Porter do. Because if you ever listen to the old tapes of John Randall when he was all mic'd up, that dude was crazy.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that he was just straight up crazy. All right, and
You got to be a little twisted in the head to play anything resembling line.
okay, anything on defense, you got to be a little crazy. Anything defense, right? So I loved playing defense, man. Are you kidding? Oh, tee off. Here I come.
I loved playing linebacker. I was no good at it at all, but linebacker was so much fun.
I played nose tackle.
There you go.
I loved it, man. Because see, when I played center, and then yeah, okay, we're gonna age me here now. When I played both sides of the ball.
Mhm.
Okay, so I played center on offense, and then I played nose tackle on defense. Okay, I very rarely played linebacker or anything like that because when you get lower than the guy in front of you, it doesn't really matter how tall he is or how big he is because he's going to go down when you go lower than him. And
Mhm.
because I have such a lower center of gravity, I was able to do that with where my strength and power was. I was able to get past those guys quite easily. And it helped me on the other side of the ball as a center. Nobody got by me because nobody was able to get lower than me. And as an offensive line, when you start lower than the defensive guy, that means you can pop and stand him up, right? And when you get him standing up, now he's going back. Okay, right? That's
Yeah.
that's your first move as a center. Is what the first thing you got to do is hike the ball, and your first move is pop, and you got to start lower than him because you're already down with your hand on the ground, and he's doing the same. You know what I mean?
It's interesting where you can learn these lessons like growing as an up and coming or aspiring football player is like with Zach Frazier. I love this example is that Zach learned a lot of these lessons and there's a lot of like there's videos and footage of kind of the way that he plays in a similar fashion. It's because he was an amateur wrestler. And
Oh,
so you
see,
just see the takedowns and balance manipulation. You could tell how much of that like factors into him. I feel like a lot of linemen should be in these kind of sports for those kind of reasons.
a lot of them are. If you look at a lot, especially the really good linemen, they have really good feet for the most part.
They have to.
Okay,
They got to be agile.
right, and that's it. Agile. I know we're talking about the big guys up front. Okay,
Mhm.
the guys that are usually over 300 pounds, and you're talking about a guy who's six something, over 300 pounds, being agile, athletic, quick feet.
Agile for their size.
Okay, I'll take agile for their size, but think of what you're going up against. Think of
Hmm.
what you have to face. Okay. You have to be able to take that first step forward because if you're not taking that first step forward, you're going backwards, and that means you're going on your butt. And that means that the defensive guy is winning.
Hmm.
So that's why when you're in that stance, the first thing you need is that first upward pop because then you can get because you're not allowed to use your hands on offense. Not allowed to use your hands, right? You don't want your defensive guy putting his hands on you like this. You
Hmm.
want to get your arms and popping so that he's going back. Okay. And you can
Yeah.
only do that by getting lower. Okay. And in any gap play that you're going to do, that's the first thing you need to do is beat him to the first step and then be lower than him so you can put your momentum and force into your block before he does his. Because if he gets his hands on you, now he can move you around. You know what I mean? Right? You don't want
Hmm.
that. As an offensive lineman, you don't want that. So,
It's a lot of hand placement too. Like I know a lot of it's like putting your hands on the inside versus putting your hands on the outside, and I know that affects leverage and that affects those kind of things. If you get proper hand placement, you can manipulate a lot of different situations whenever it
like
comes
I
to pro
said,
football.
man, a defensive player, once he's got his hands on you the right way, can move you wherever he wants you to go. Okay. And I'm here to tell you a lot. And when you're playing defense, that's a lot of what's going on. It's going to the flow or allowing the offensive player to lead you to where the ball's going and let the momentum take you there.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? You
Mhm.
have to kind of let the momentum kind of take you there because otherwise, it's very rare that you see offenses cut back, and that's why you got defensive linemen that are supposed to be over there containing, right?
Right, because you can't just break to the backside and like break out for an 80-yard run or whatever.
Most teams, they all flow one direction when they're running the ball, and so
Hmm.
as a defense, you need to flow that same direction. So a
Hmm.
lot of times you can, if you're like say in the A gap, right? You can step inside and then lead him this way, and he's still going to go that way to the play. But now you got an inside track because that's the way the play is going. So you step inside and take him back. Now you got there's the ball carrier coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? See, that's the X's and O's and stuff that I don't know. I guess I'm kind of sick like that. I don't know.
Oh, we need more. We need more of that. I think that's something the show can really improve with. I also think that like that responsibility, that job you're talking about in particular, reminds me of kind of the way that defenses have to play the option or the triple option with the force fill and spill defenders and all that. It sounds very similar to that.
It does, and especially if you got a quarterback that can do the RPOs or is a threat to run.
Hmm.
That's where all that comes into. So I mean, hey, all right. So we got two prediction of wins for the Cleveland Browns against the Cleveland Browns here. Not this coming weekend. We get to have the week off. We get to enjoy football without a heart attack or having to,
For
uh,
once.
for once, right? And then we get to come back against the Cleveland Browns. That's a great game to come back off the bye week with. That should be a prime game for Mike Tomlin to take hold of the AFC North. If they do win that, that'll be the first win against a AFC North team. That's all good as far as we're concerned. So, by the way, gotta go on over to Five Star Matchup and check out the cool videos that this man right here puts out. Mr. Gage Ryan, dude, you put out some really cool, thought provoking videos over there on Five Star. Thank you very much.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. Hop on over to Five Star Matchup and check that stuff out, man. The whole family's over there, all of us. Um, Quite an array of talent over there, and man, it's a five-star matchup because five stars in it, So that's the way it goes. Tell us where we can get all your great stuff, Gage.
You can find me. You can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video. You can find my MMA content at Contender MMA, and you can find myself, Ron, Frayne, Steve, and the rest of the group at Five Star Matchup for all of our Steeler content that isn't here.
That's right, for sure. We even had the five star on last week on the show too, for sure. That was really awesome, man. Thank you for hopping on Five Star. Yeah, we'll have you on again. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Another proud father moment. Anyway, all good, all good. Thank you all very much for tuning in to the Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast, where we talk about the next upcoming game here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Although it's not this week, it's going to be next week against the Cleveland Browns. We will catch you all on the next one.